Hi, this is Todd Gentili from Syncor Systems. This is a demonstration on how to use the unit testing framework that's up on the forums to start a new project and do unit testing on it. So the first thing obviously is get that file from the forums, and then you just want to make a copy of it, and so it'll be called unit testing template, and my version's under source control, so I've already made a copy without all the source control. And then I give it a new name, and then I find it easiest to just put it right back in the project workspace. Otherwise, if you import it from somewhere else, it's gonna kind of keep this unit testing template name because it's got project files and all that. So now what we can do, we've got a copy, and it's in our workspace. So we'll just go over to Eclipse, and we'll say File, Import existing project into workspace. Next, we'll just navigate to where that is. So there's the new one I created, and we'll say OK. And then we don't want this. You do not copy the project. It's already in the workspace. So then you say Finish, and now you've got unit testing demo. Now there's a couple of things when you do something this way. One of the things you want to do is come into Properties, and on the build, on settings, the build artifact name is going to have the old name. So it's not a huge thing, but it kind of keeps the auto update from working properly. So give it the name that matches the name you gave it here. You can say OK to that. So now this was all built for, it's all set up for a 5272. And one of the things also when you import projects that doesn't get quite right is the NetBurner options page. So let's come here, and it always does this. You have to click it first, click off it, click back on it, now pick the platform. So this was 5272. Now if you want to build this for another platform, you can go ahead and pick, and I'm not sure what all the ramifications of this are, but pick the other platform, and you kind of don't want to have it reload selected platforms property files, because that'll wipe out all the include settings. I think it's actually less work to just leave that unchecked. So anyway, when you're just respecifying what it was already set up for, I think by default it leaves those unchecked. So I'm just going to say OK here, and then it flashed an error. So let's go take a quick look, make sure it's got the right thing. Okay, it doesn't have an address, which we can do later. So let's go look at a couple of things that are already set up. Under settings, there's two ways to get to this, by the way. You can look at directories. So there's the C, and here's the C++. This is all C++. So so you can see all the C++ directories, and then the workspace that points to the include file, because underneath the demo I put all the libraries it needs in the lib file, and I put all the includes it needs in the include. So there's already a reference to this in there, so that everything's good to go. So anyway, and I go back here, because you'll notice if you're doing another platform that you want to manually come in and change this one right here. So instead of mod 5272, you just want to give it the directory name for your processor. Okay, and I think that would be easier. And then the other place that there are paths is here under lib. You want to edit that one as well for your processor. And you can see I've got the 3 paths to the 3 libraries that were included. So everything's actually all set to go. So let's just come in here and say build the project and see if our new copy builds. Okay, so it looks like everything built okay. So let's go create a configuration for it. So we'll just go to Run Configurations. We'll click on the NetBurner launcher, start the new configuration here. It automatically gets the right name. Let's hit search here. Okay, found our NetBurner. We'll put its address in here. And I think the only other thing I like to do is go to the Common tab, and I just add this configuration to the Run menu. Hit Apply. I move this up a little bit, and from here I'm just going to hit Run. And this is going to go ahead and run. I'm going to bring in MTTY, and we'll see it boot. There it is. And then I'm going to bring back up the web browser. And let's go ahead and type that address in. Okay, and now the actual unit tests are already, it scanned the file for the unit tests and it put them all over here. So there's a simple test, just runs 2. Anything fails, it shows in red, and red up here. When everything passes, it goes in green. So all those tests pass. And this is failing because I've told it it's just a check false test. Okay, so the only other thing is to help you get started, and you won't want these normally, but when you're getting started, these are just some sample tests so that you can see how tests are written and run. And so you can actually get rid of all of these if you'd like, and just start your tests from scratch. So I'm just going to open up the sample tests. Okay, and we'll just make this full screen here. So yeah, see the basic suite keyword groups tests into a suite, and you saw I create buttons based on suites, and then test is the way you build a basic test, and this just says pass this test, this says fail this test. So let's go ahead and just to prove it's all working, let's just create a new test, sample test 3, and let's say check. We'll pass this one again. And if you scroll down, you'll see some tests that do a little bit more. There's nothing very complicated. It shows you about using check equals and check that close succeeds. There's some things on, checking that things throw, checking that asserts work in your code. There's an example of how to set up a test fixture so that when your tear up and tear down can be done just once. And then the new text fixture command, and then what the name of the test is here. So it shows you all that. So here's our new test. Let's hit save, and I'm going to get out of full screen mode so we can see the console, and let's build. Okay, everything rebuilt. Let's go ahead and run that configuration. Okay, application started. Let's bring our web page back up, and let's. I don't even think we need to hit refresh because this is an Ajax callback. So yeah, so it sees the new test and automatically runs the new test as well. So that's all there is to that. Now, if you're developing your actual code in this project under source, you're just adding source files and then you're writing tests against them. Fine. I tend to write everything in a library. So then, of course, what you need to do here is come into properties if you want to start testing a library, and you just have to give it the settings for the library you're interested in. You just come in here and add the library that you're going to test under there, and then either under the directories or under C++ general paths and symbols, you want to go ahead and add the include files for the things you're going to test so that you can include in your headers and then write tests against them. But either way, whether you want to unit test against libraries or full projects, you can do it this way. I mean, the only thing, I don't know if you're going to distribute your tests with your final embedded code, then you could leave it all alone. Otherwise, if you develop it without a library, you're going to have to take everything out and throw it all away. So all the HTML is here that supports the unit testing, so you could conceivably throw all that stuff away as well and get all that memory, all that flash back. Alright, that's it.